Hey guys, welcome to the School of Magic Basic Intuition Class 101. I am so excited to bring this content to you. This is something I have been working on for the last couple of years. For those of you who don't know me or know my background, my name is Kat Hart. I am actually a fifth generation gypsy. I am Romanian, Hungarian, and Sicilian. Romanian on one side of my family and Hungarian on the other side. So it actually runs in both sides of my bloodlines. We have amazing family get togethers, as you can imagine. I ran a successful practice as a spiritual advisor and teacher for many years, along with running spiritual retreats, teaching this type of content successfully over a long period of time. And just went through a lot of life changes, my parents passing away, my house burning down, just a whole bunch of stuff. And so everything got put on hold. However, I still was building my own spiritual muscle and my own intuition as well. And I also live stream on TikTok. I have done cards, I've done coaching, I've done advising, I have done personal one on one trainings, along with classes, courses, and retreats. So I am bringing this to school, which I am so excited about. I am incredibly thrilled about this platform. This is something I've been waiting for a long time. So let's get into it. So, first of all, what is basic intuition? Your intuition is something that we all have, it's something that is on the inside. But what we fail to miss sometimes is that you can only hear and tap into your intuition when you're feeling calm and receptive and open to it. So it's really important that if you want to go deeper into this practice, that you take time and you work it on honing your abilities in a calm and receptive manner. So it's hard to be in a frustrated state or be an angry state and want to get an answer from the inside. It doesn't usually work that way. A lot of times it'll be convoluted, and we're going to discuss the different types of intuition as well. And also using your intuition when it seems like it goes against your logical reasoning. So, when you have this gut feeling, when you have a gut feeling that you're supposed to do something, and like if you come to a stop sign and you don't know which way to go and you want to turn left or right and you kind of trust your gut and you go right, and the perfect parking spot or the perfect opportunity arises from that. I know this is a silly example, but this literally just happened to me a couple of days ago. I was in downtown Seattle and I was going to a production, a play, and I knew the parking was going to be ridiculous. It was downtown. It was a Friday night. I just thought, you know what? I'm going to find the perfect parking spot. I already know. I have this thing with the universe where I get VIP parking everywhere I go. Things just open up for me as soon as I pull up, and I just knew I would find the right spot. And so I drove to where the venue was, and it was just chaos. I mean, all of the lots were full, the parking areas were full. It was just absolute chaos. And something told me, my gut told me to drive through the light and go one block past the venue, which I did. And it was almost like I was gonna be getting on the freeway, and I thought, "Gosh, there's nobody here, like, where I'm gonna be getting on the freeway." And again, I got to the next block, a light said, "Turn right." I followed my gut. I turned right, and immediately I saw a sign that said public parking. Now, just because of my prior Air Force training, I worked underground. I have this kind of whole thing with being underground. I also said I don't want to park underground because a lot of the parking structures in Seattle go down, and it literally makes my palms sweat. I just get anxiety. And I was like, I want parking that's nearby and I want it to be above ground. So I was thinking street parking, but trusted my intuition. And literally, I pull into the parking area and it goes up. And the very first spot, literally right when I drive in, it was cheaper than anywhere that would have been in the surrounding area. It was above ground. It was a block and a half away from the venue. And there was only one other person that kind of had followed that same intuition and was literally parking across from me. There were so many parking spaces, it was ridiculous. But if I would have went back a block and a half, when I walked back towards the venue, which took me about maybe 4 minutes, It was chaos. People trying to find parking spots, people trying to wait, to get into these parking structures, going down underneath buildings and, trying to slide in these little tiny spots. But again, I trusted my gut. And so those little blips of intuition are there to guide us, to make our life easier. They're there to help us in every way possible. And so those are the things when we work on listening to that it helps us along the way. Haven't you ever had where maybe you have $10 on the counter and you think, oh, I need to put that $10 in my purse? But you don't know why. You're like, well, why? I don't need this 10 bucks. I have my card or whatever. And then a little bit later, you realize, oh my gosh, I need exactly $10 cash. Or you feel guided to grab a pen and you don't know why, or your notebook, or a bottle of water, or whatever it is, an extra jacket. Maybe it's beautiful outside and something in your intuition when you're walking out the door tells you grab a sweatshirt or grab a raincoat or something like that. And out of the blue, you're at an event and the weather changes, or wherever you get to your destination, the weather is completely different. So those types of things are guidance to help us in living our best life. And haven't you done this before where you're like, oh, I should have listened. I should have listened to my intuition. I should have turned right. I knew I should have turned right. Or man, I should have made that phone call. I knew I should have made that phone call. Or man, I should have picked up that shell. I knew I should have picked up that shell. So many times where I've done readings or I've worked with people, I've gotten the coolest little intuition messages of purchasing something for somebody. And again, I'm not encouraging you to do it. I'm just telling you my story, but I have this really unique ability to buy gifts for people from people that have transitioned. So sometimes I'll buy, like, I remember one time I bought an ornament, a Christmas ornament, and I had sent it to a mom on behalf of her son who had transitioned through a car accident. And she called me sobbing when she got it. And she said, there's no way you could know this. She lived on the other side of the country. She said, but this is what my son used to do every year. He used to buy me Christmas ornaments. That was his thing. And so I have so many stories I could tell you like that over and over and over, where I just pick something up and I was like, this is for somebody. I'm not sure who it's for yet. Or sometimes I know exactly who it's for, but sometimes I don't even know who it's for. And I'm like, oh, I just need to grab this. And as soon as I run into the person, I'm like, this is for you. I knew this was for you, somebody. This is for you. So again, that's trusting your intuitive guidance. That's trusting your intuition. Now, there are ways that you can trust your guidance even more, and you can develop that. One really good way is to make sure that you're journaling. I write down thoughts. I write down ideas. I mean, even when I was building this course, I was writing down ideas. I was keeping, I mean, this is one of many books that I've had a lot of record keeping in to build these courses over the last couple of years. But also tracking your dreams is absolutely phenomenal. Doing visualization work, doing energy work. One really easy way I've taught people how to hone their intuition and trust it more is taking, oh, I wish I had one here, but like taking like a 3x5 card. I'll use these as an example. So taking two cards, like a little 3x5 card that's blank on both sides, and you can write yes on one or no on the other, and you can flip them down, spin them around a little bit so you don't know which one's which, and ask a question. And then what you do is you put your hand over the card and you feel which one vibrates. You feel which one you're guided to pick. And so you can answer your questions that way. You can also, if you're trying to get the idea, you're trying to get something answered, like you have a question, like say you have an opportunity for 3 different jobs and you don't know which one to take, you feel stuck, and maybe they're in 3 different locations, or you're looking to move and you don't know where to go. You write the 3 different options, or 5, or whatever it is, on the cards. And again, flip them down, shuffle them around so you don't know which one's which. And then you ask the question, which job is for my highest and best path? Which one's going to make me the happiest? And then you start putting your hand over each card and you see which card vibrates. And you know you made the right choice if when you flip it over, you're happy, or you vibrate. You get that little tingle through your whole body, or maybe your hair stands up, or you get goosebumps. I call them truth bumps because for me, when I get in that alignment with truth, I'm telling you, my body heats up. Sometimes I get sweating, like I'll get goosebumps. My hair will stand up. I just get this inner knowing where this is right. And so that's one of the best ways for you to know that this is the right choice for you. Now, if you choose something and you're like, like you don't immediately have a yes, it's probably a no. You might be forcing your own will. So, one other thing we want to talk about is making sure that you're not basically basically using your own personal biases or something from the past on, or wishful thinking. You don't want to put that into your intuition. So if you're hoping for a certain outcome, that's not letting your higher power in the universe bring you what's the highest and best for you. Because sometimes we want something so badly, but it may not be for our highest and best. A certain job or a certain relationship or whatever it may be, it doesn't support us in living our best life, and we know it somewhere inside. We know it's not for our highest and best, but we want it so bad that we override our intuition and we go in that path anyway, and we're not happy. We know there's still that void. We know there's still that kind of unease. We're off balance because we know we chose something that wasn't exactly right. Now, it doesn't mean you can't learn from it. It doesn't mean you can't learn a lesson from that job or that relationship or that experience or whatever happens, but it's never going to make you feel fulfilled. It's never going to give you exactly what it is you want and what it is you're looking for, because only the alignment with who you truly are is going to do that. And so that's why using your intuition is so vitally important. That's why developing your intuition in these ways is so vitally important. And so this is using energy work. This is actually using your energy of your body. Now, there's other things like pendulums. Okay, so now I will go into more of these later. These are actually tools like using cards, using stones, using pendulums, using singing bowls that you can actually tap into certain frequencies and vibrations that you can get yeses or get more information or get confirmations from. And while we're talking about confirmations, so in module 2, I will be talking about tools. I'll be talking about using cards or using stones or using pendulums or using things like that that are tools that are in addition to your own personal intuition. Now, that being said, you don't need any of those things. You can, in fact, it's better to not use them to start really honing your intuition, because then you're not relying on a tool in order to trust yourself. So, I want to talk about confirmations. It is absolutely okay and preferred that you bounce these things off of somebody. It's okay to have an idea or have a feeling or get an intuitive response about something and want to get a confirmation from somebody. This is one of the reasons I'm developing these programs in this school platform, is because you now are going to be able to build a community. You guys can talk amongst yourselves. You can actually post questions with each other here in the community. You can post questions to myself or other instructors that I'll be bringing on here in the community. And you're going to have everything that you need to have your questions answered, get validated, get confirmations, and also know that what you're going through is not isolated to just you. You're not alone in these experiences. You're not alone in these brain evolutions and learning how to develop your intuition. There's people around the world that are doing these techniques and that are really using it to the best of their ability so they can have the life that they've always dreamed of, in order to really find their passion, live their purpose, do something to heal themselves or the world, or there's so many beautiful things that you can do with your intuition, but the number one thing is to make yourself feel whole. to make yourself feel like you've filled the void, because it's not going to come from out there. There's no person, there's no thing, there's no amount of money, there's no job, there's no place, there's nothing else that's going to fill the void. Only you can do that. Only you can feel whatever's missing on the inside. Only you can use your intuition to guide you to those things that are going to help you to stay balanced. Another really good practice is to make sure that you're connecting with nature, because nature is very in tune with the frequency and vibration of intuition. If you walk barefoot, it's called either grounding, or it's called, oh my gosh, I just spaced. It's grounding, but there's another word for it. It'll come to me. It's up there in my brain. But you can actually walk, and what you're doing is you're trading electrons with the planet. So again, it's very scientific, but you're actually grounding energy into the Mother Earth, which Mother Earth is incredible at recycling energy. And the good thing is you can feel the frequency and the vibration of animals, trees, plants, flowers, living things, water, rocks, and stones. That's why each type of stone has a different frequency. Again, we'll get into that in module 2. But literally, you can tap into these things. And when you have your skin against a tree, now, one thing I like to do is, I know this sounds kind of wonky, but ask permission. Remember, these are living things. So trees are living things. Grass and plants are living things. I mean, it's okay to have reverence for these beautiful living beings. They have proven that trees communicate, and trees have feelings, and trees actually grow and live in communities. Did you know trees can have life partners? And most of them do. Most of them have life partners. They literally grow together side by side. And if one tree dies or gets killed, the other tree will die also, because their partner's gone. So they have measurable feelings. So, and they also have a groundwork of roots and little tiny hairs that emit frequencies and vibrations that they communicate through. So when you are going in nature and you want to connect with nature and you want to listen to what nature has to tell you, be respectful and realize that we're all connected. I love that movie Avatar, because to me, that's the closest thing I've ever seen to everything I've ever felt on the inside. Just that connection with animals, that connection, how they would take their tail and they would combine with, the animal, or they would combine with the tree, and it would just wrap around. And those types of, that's intuition at its finest, because we have these frequencies that are emitted off of our body, and they can be scientifically measured. They can measure our brain waves by putting little electrodes on our brains, right? They can measure what's coming off our brain. They can measure your heartbeat by putting an electrode on your chest and measuring your heartbeat. They can measure the heat that's coming off of your body. They can measure all these things because there's waves of energy that are coming off of your body all the time. That's why it's so important that you stay present and you know what you're thinking about, and you control your thoughts and your emotions, because as soon as you have a thought, it emits a frequency. It emits a wave of energy that precedes you. It goes out away from you, and it's going to attract more of what you're thinking about. So what you think about, you bring about. These are terms that have been around forever. What you focus on, you're going to bring towards you, and you're going to bring more of it. So if you're thinking about how hard things are, or how your finances suck, or how difficult your relationship is right now, you're literally going to attract more things that make it so. You're going to attract more things that collaborate with that thought and that frequency, because the universe, your higher power, is all about matching frequencies. It's magnetism. This entire planet and galaxy is based on magnetism. So you want to magnetize positive things. You want to work on this intuition. So, what's the difference in a gut feeling or an intuitive knowing or an intuitive insight? Well, a gut feeling is kind of like I told you before about turning right or left or picking up something. Other times, like an intuitive knowing, is like as soon as I walked in for the Christmas ornament for the mom. Like, I had a knowing, there was something inside that led me. I was like, "I have to go in this store. I have to buy this ornament for this woman." Like, it was just a knowing. I had an absolute knowing that I needed to do this, and I didn't know why. That's the best part about trusting your intuition. You don't need to know the why. The why will show itself later. But when you follow your intuition and you're helping to bridge these gaps, you're actually making connections for other people as well. And you're helping them to believe. You're helping them to see that this is a tangible practice. This is something that is there for every single one of us. Whether you choose to use it or not, every single person on the planet has an intuition that they can tap into. Animals use an intuition. They've shown that animals that, like if there's a tidal wave that's coming in, or there's a water surge, or there's some danger, that they have an intuitive ability to go to higher ground. Or trees communicate with each other through this frequency and vibration. In Africa, there's a type of tree where if a giraffe starts eating its leaves, it'll literally send a frequency and a signal out to the other trees in the area to turn their leaves bitter, so all of the leaves from the entire grove don't get eaten. This is all scientific and documented stuff. That's the best part, is these are things that are real, that it can actually help us to grow and become stronger versions of ourselves. And intuitive insights are maybe when you're getting like a okay, I'll give you a great example. I kept every time I went over a bridge, I kept seeing a bridge fall. And it was like, what is going on? Like, I would almost get, and even one time I got stopped on a drawbridge and my palms were sweating. I got so much anxiety, and I don't have anxiety about like bouts of anxiety or anything like that. But this was an anxiety attack. Like, I was so fearful of being on this drawbridge that I literally wanted to go abandon my car and go run away. And I called one of my best friends and I was like, I'm freaking out right now. I keep seeing this bridge fall and I'm not sure what's going on. Well, maybe a week or so after that, there was a bridge portion, a section of a bridge that fell from a truck hit one of the ribs of the top of the bridge. A big semi had hit it, and somehow it was one of the main supports, and it literally collapsed an entire section. Now, luckily, nobody died, but there were cars on that section. Can you imagine? And it fell a good, probably, I would say 30 feet. Or it fell into like the canal below. I mean, there was just a little bit of water. So again, nobody got hurt, but I can't even imagine being on that section of bridge when it fell. So that's an intuitive insight. When you see something or you have a dream about something and then it happens, that's an intuitive insight. So that's kind of the difference between those types of intuitions. So, again, one thing I want to reiterate, that seeking confirmation and validation for these things are okay. You can do it in this community. You can talk to somebody that you trust. You can work with a spiritual advisor. I even have spiritual advisors that I work with. So I'm your spiritual advisor. You're getting to tap into me in this school. And you also get to message me, and you can email me, or like I said, the other instructors that are going to be coming in to teach. But also, I have a wonderful woman that I'm going to be working with who is in my community. She's one of my spiritual sisters, and we're going to be teaching dream interpretation. And that is going to, I'm so excited about that course because I love to interpret dreams. I just think it is the coolest practice. And it's okay though to get validation from other spiritual advisors. Totally okay. In fact, and sometimes it's necessary in order, while you're building your intuition, it helps you validate. It gives you confirmation that, yeah, what you thought was so. So, and again, that builds your confidence and it builds your self esteem in building your intuition. So, these are just the basics in developing, having discernment, and understanding your own intuition. And again, one thing I want to remind you is that when you are working with your intuition, make sure that you are in a calm and receptive state. Make sure that you are um, open to receiving. And if it's something that you need to practice, just tell yourself constantly, I am present, I am open, and I'm receiving. I'm present, I'm open, and I'm receiving. And again, when you get the hit, when you get the correct validation, it should make you feel good. It should make you smile. It should bring you joy. It should give you some kind of physical, like, brr, like alignment. It should give you some type of incredible feeling. Oh, I just came up with so when you're walking, it's called earthing. When you're walking and you're barefoot on the ground, and it's called grounding. It's called earthing. And I love to go earthing. I love to walk barefoot. I do it every single day. I love connecting with Mother Earth. But this is a way that you can get a deeper knowing of yourself, build your inner wisdom, and really, really stay connected to your path. So I'm excited about this first module. I hope that you learned something valuable. Wait, module tool is going to be even better. We're going to be discussing basic intuition tools and techniques, and I'm very excited for this. So I love you guys. Have a wonderful day. Practice your intuition. I'll see you next time in module 2.